Welcome to the Theology Proper quiz on Revelation, where we explore how God makes himself known to humanity. From the wonders of creation to the inspiration of Scripture, test your knowledge of divine revelation and see how well you understand the ways God reveals his truth. God reveals himself in nature through B. General revelation. Scripture is what kind of revelation? B. Special. Which verse says, "All Scripture is inspired by God"? A. 2 Timothy 3:16. Which prophet said, "The word of the Lord came to me"? C. Jeremiah. Which form of revelation is seen in visions and dreams? B. Special revelation. God reveals his invisible qualities through creation, according to A. Romans 1:20. Which New Testament writer spoke of being caught up to the third heaven? B. Paul. Which prophet received the vision of dry bones? A. Ezekiel. The book of Revelation was given to which apostle? B. John. Who was given the Ten Commandments? A. Moses. The Spirit inspired men to write Scripture by B. Carrying them along. Which prophet had visions by the river Chebar? A. Ezekiel. Which apostle wrote about the Word becoming flesh? B. John. The Spirit spoke to the churches in B. Revelation. Which prophet saw the Lord high and lifted up? B. Isaiah. Which prophet foretold the virgin birth? A. Isaiah. The Spirit revealed the mystery of the gospel to B. Apostles and prophets. Which book begins, "In the beginning was the Word"? A. John. Who was taken up in a whirlwind? A. Elijah. Which prophet saw the valley of dry bones? A. Ezekiel. Which book begins, "The revelation of Jesus Christ"? A. Revelation. Who wrote, "All Scripture is God-breathed"? A. Paul. Which prophet foretold the outpouring of the Spirit? A. Joel. Who wrote most of the Psalms? David. Which prophet saw dry bones come to life? Ezekiel. Who heard God speak through a donkey? Balaam. Which apostle wrote about being caught up to the third heaven? Paul. Who saw a vision of a scroll eaten like honey? Ezekiel. Who was called the weeping prophet? Jeremiah. Which prophet confronted the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel? Elijah. Which disciple wrote of Christ as the Word made flesh? John. Who was given visions while exiled on Patmos? John. Which prophet saw the valley of dry bones? Ezekiel. Who saw a ladder reaching to heaven? Jacob. Who was called in a vision of God's throne with seraphim? Isaiah. Who saw the Ancient of Days on his throne? Daniel. Who saw a scroll sealed with 7 seals? John. Who received the vision of the burning bush? Moses. Who saw the glory of God fill the temple? Isaiah. Which prophet saw a plumbline vision? Amos. Who saw the 4 living creatures full of eyes? Ezekiel. Who heard the still small voice on Mount Horeb? Elijah. Who saw the handwriting on the wall? Daniel. Who received the vision of the valley of dry bones? Ezekiel. Who saw the Ancient of Days on his throne? Daniel. Who saw a great sheet let down from heaven? Peter. Who saw the glory of God depart from the temple? Ezekiel. Who saw the New Jerusalem coming down from heaven? John. Who heard God in a whisper on Mount Horeb? Elijah.